Welcome to Santa Barbara, a paradise where the sun-kissed shores meet cultural richness and an unmatched vibrancy pulses through the streets. Here, beyond the pristine beaches and bustling art scene, lie the grand mansions of America's old money. These architectural marvels tell stories of a bygone era of luxury and exclusivity, standing as proud sentinels of history and opulence. In today's episode, we'll peel back the layers of time, with each mansion revealing a chapter in the history of how Santa Barbara became a beacon of sophisticated living, as we take you through the mansions that built Santa Barbara, California. The first mansion on our list of homes that built Santa Barbara, California, is tucked atop a Santa Barbara bluff with the Pacific as its backyard. Thus, Bellosguardo, or the Clark Estate, breathes a distinct air of mystery mixed with unabashed grandeur. Constructed in 1937 by Anna Clark and later bequeathed to her enigmatic daughter, Huguette Clark, the 24-acre Clark Estate stands as a beacon of opulence and history poised to metamorphose into a buzzing cultural hub. Now let's wind back the clock to the estate's inception, originally a sumptuous Italianate villa built by the Grahams in 1902. Crowned with the name that whispers of its essence, Beautiful Lookout. The torch passed to copper titan and Senator William Andrews Clark in 1923, who would see the villa only briefly before his demise. Anna Clark, his undaunted widow, opted for a fresh start. Enter Reginald Johnson, the architectural virtuoso behind the Santa Barbara Biltmore, tasked with envisioning an 18th-century French-style palace. And this wasn't your run-of-the-mill rebuild. We're talking a stately 23,000-square-foot marvel with a roster of 27 rooms, including a music nook, a library, and an artist's studio. Sanctuaries for the younger Clark's creative escapades. Anna's aesthetic, an elegant restraint, dictated the decor, ornate yet tastefully understated, with no room for the flamboyant flourishes favored by her late husband. The grounds thus echoed this grandeur, from the meticulously carved floral stone courts to the emerald embrace of sprawling lawns and a stunning rose garden that could very well serve as the muse for a Monet masterpiece. Bellosguardo became the Clarks' seasonal haven until the mid-1950s. After Anna's death, the estate entered a sleep-like state under Huguette's ownership, untouched and unseen, wrapped in a timeless capsule, furniture shrouded, cars stationary, a silent testament to a paused life. The reclusive heiress, Huguette Clark, would eventually spend her twilight years in a New York hospital, leaving our world in 2011 at the grand age of 104. And her legacy was a foundation tasked with reinventing Bellosguardo as a cultural nucleus for Santa Barbara. Envision symphonies drifting across the lawns, art exhibitions in the halls, and literary salons in the libraries. A haven for the cultural connoisseur and the curious tourist alike. As Bellosguardo flings open its gates to the public, it's not merely unveiling a cache of Clark family treasures and Huguette's artistic pursuits, but it's also stitching itself into the cultural fabric of Santa Barbara. At Lotusland, where the spirit of innovation twines with verdant splendor, Madame Ganawalska's legacy flourishes beneath the California sun. Acquiring the 37-acre Montecito estate in 1941, the Polish opera singer and socialite poured her considerable charm and relentless zeal into transforming the grounds into a botanical wonderland, now revered as one of the globe's most arresting gardens. Now, the saga of this horticultural haven began in 1882, with Ralph Kinton Stevens christening the land Tanglewood and setting up a lemon and palm nursery. The winds of change brought the Gavitt family to its doors in 1916, who reimagined the area as Cuesta Linda, imbuing the land with the warmth of Mediterranean revival and Spanish colonial revival styles, courtesy of architects Reginald Johnson and George Washington Smith. These eras left unforgettable mark, crafting a stage that Madame Walska would later command with aplomb. Born Hanna Puach in 1887 in Brest-Litovsk, Poland, Walska's life was a vibrant series of acts: concert singer, theater owner, perfumer, and fashion icon. Upon her move to California and the subsequent purchase of Cuesta Linda, her initial vision of a spiritual sanctuary eventually gave way to a more rooted passion, curating a botanical landscape that would echo through the ages. Renaming her estate Lotusland in a nod to the sacred Indian lotus ensconced in its waters, Walska's ambitions were as vast as the gardens she envisioned. She collaborated with a cadre of landscape architects: Peter Riedel, Ralph Stevens, Lockwood DeForest, and Joseph Knowles, each helping to thread her visionary tapestry into the soil of Lotusland. And the results are nothing short of breathtaking, and gardens within gardens unfold like chapters of a living book. The blue garden mesmerizes with its spectrum of silvery to blue-grey foliage, while the bromeliad gardens offer a lush tableau under the dappled shade of oak trees. Yet, it's perhaps the cactus garden that best captures Walska's bold spirit, with its formidable collection of spiny residents towering over visitors. Not to be outshined, the estate's topiary garden presents a whimsical menagerie of greenery, complete with a horticultural clock and a playful boxwood maze. The nearby theatre garden and vibrant water garden are icons of Walska's lifelong romance with the dramatic and the beautiful, offering visitors a glimpse into her multifaceted world. Today, Lotusland not only captivates as a major draw for botanical buffs worldwide, but also stands as a pillar of local conservation efforts and horticultural education. Its role in the community extends beyond mere attraction, influencing regional gardening practices and landscape architecture with its innovative plant collections and thoughtful designs. Next on our list is Casa del Herrero, affectionately known as the Steedman Estate, proudly claiming its spot as a pinnacle of Spanish colonial revival architecture. Crafted by the illustrious George Washington Smith in 1925, this 11-acre delight sits in the verdant embrace of Montecito, close to the vibrant cityscapes of Santa Barbara, California. George Fox Steedman, an industrial tycoon, and his spouse, Carrie Howard Steedman, originated from St. Louis, seeking the western horizons for their architectural dreams. Remarkably, their new home celebrated its completion on the historic day of the infamous Santa Barbara earthquake, embedding itself into the locale's rich history from day one. And the architectural splendor of Casa del Herrero showcases Smith's deft touch, brought to life with the help of an ensemble of designers and craftsmen. Drawing deeply from Andalusian and Moorish roots, the estate's design melds Spanish flair with Mediterranean grace, and the structure sports classic whitewashed stucco walls, terracotta tiles underfoot, and intricate wrought iron embellishments, true signatures of its revivalist heart. Stepping inside, one finds themselves surrounded by an opulent collection of European antiques, metalwork, and stone, each piece a silent nod to Steedman's European wanderlust. Not to be outdone, the gardens of Casa del Herrero are masterpieces in their own right. Initially shaped by the hands of landscape architect Ralph Stevens and later touched by the likes of Luta Maria Riggs and Lockwood DeForest, the gardens weave a spell of tranquility. Here, Moorish fountains mingle with citrus orchards and vibrant perennial borders, all culminating in a striking cactus garden. These garden rooms are cradled by arcades and stone paths, each turn a secluded nook framed by towering eucalyptus and whispering palms. And beyond its undeniable aesthetic and horticultural allure, Casa del Herrero has stamped its influence firmly on the cultural map of Santa Barbara. Elevated to the status of National Historic Landmark in 2009, the estate now thrives under the stewardship of a devoted non-profit. This group opens the gates to history buffs and architecture enthusiasts alike through docent-led tours that delve into the visionary minds behind this monumental estate. In its generous embrace, Casa del Herrero also serves as a vibrant cultural hub, with a plethora of educational endeavors, community gatherings, and vibrant events such as Christmas at the Casa and the Feria Andalucia art show. Each event stitches the community closer, weaving a shared fabric of historical reverence and cultural celebration. As it edges closer to marking a century since its founding in 2025, Casa del Herrero stands not just as a monument of architectural finesse, but as a living, breathing part of Santa Barbara's community. A robust $18 million capital campaign is currently underway, poised to bolster infrastructure, update conservation techniques, and invigorate community ties. Tucked away on the sun-drenched Gaviota coast lies Rancho Dos Pueblos, an oceanfront estate spanning a hearty 2,190 acres. This splendid slice of California, with its Spanish-style flair and whispers of history, beckons those with a taste for the dramatic and the historical. Our tale begins in 1542, with the arrival of Spanish explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo, who bestowed the name Dos Pueblos upon spying two vibrant Chumash villages, Miquiu and Cuyamu. These communities thrived, separated by culture but united by the bountiful Naples Reef, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of the ocean. Fast forward to 1842, and we meet Nicholas A. Den, a charismatic Irish immigrant with a penchant for medicine and a heart quickly captured by the local charm. Gifted the land by Governor Juan Alvarado, Den transformed his new domain into a beacon of wealth and cultural harmony. His Casa Grande, an adobe marvel, stood proudly as a testament to his success, complete with all the trimmings of grandeur, from fireplaces to billiard rooms, not forgetting the essential card room for a gentleman's leisure. The architecture of Rancho Dos Pueblos is unapologetically Spanish. Think adobe walls kissing the sky, red-tiled roofs sprawling lazily over cool courtyards. Add to this a historic barn and a private beach, and you've got a venue that screams, "I do" louder than a bride left at the altar. Yes, the estate's lush gardens and sweeping vistas make it a magnet for matrimonial bliss and gala gatherings alike. And change, as they say, is the only constant, and Rancho Dos Pueblos has morphed with the best of them. In 1943, enter Samuel Mosher, oil magnate turned orchid aficionado, who transformed part of the estate into a blossoming orchid empire. His green-thumbed innovations not only put the ranch on the map, but also ensconced it in the hearts of botanists worldwide. But let's not overlook the estate's societal sizzle. Host to the glitterati and politicos, Rancho Dos Pueblos was more than just a homestead. It was a pivotal player in the Santa Barbara social scene. From Chumash settlements to Spanish colonial outposts, this piece of land has been a cultural carousel, spinning stories of integration and evolution. Today, the reins have been passed to the Dos Pueblos Institute, stewards with a vision as lush as the estate's gardens. This non-profit harbors ambitions of ecological and educational transformation, aiming to sprinkle the seeds of sustainable agriculture and cultural preservation across its fertile grounds. Rancho Dos Pueblos, with its storied walls and verdant paths, continues to be not merely a relic of history, but a living, breathing hub of cultural and ecological enlightenment. And last on our list is the Val Verde Estate, a masterstroke of architectural genius in Santa Barbara that was conceived by the esteemed architect Bertram G. Goodhue and brought to life for Henry Data Jr. Completing its construction in 1918, the estate is a radiant jewel in the crown of Santa Barbara's historic homes, boasting both an architecturally rich Spanish colonial revival house and mesmerizing gardens, designed by none other than Lockwood de Forest. Goodhue's design reflects a keen appreciation for Spanish colonial architecture, inspired by his globe-trotting adventures. At Val Verde, he embraced the Churrigueresque flourishes that would come to define much of California's architectural ethos under the Spanish colonial revival banner. The estate itself is a fortress of luxury, with imposing 14-foot walls, spacious 12-foot ceilings, and the warm glow of heart pine flooring. A grand entrance invites one into the opulent world of Val Verde, setting a lavish tone that resonates throughout the property. Yet, the estate's gardens, crafted by De Forest, arguably steal the spotlight. DeForest's landscape artistry goes beyond mere gardening. It's a bold, poetic endeavour that transforms greenery into drama. His gardens at Val Verde are not just seen but experienced, leading visitors on a meandering path through theatrical outdoor rooms. Highlights of this living composition include terraces adorned with reflecting pools, a plaza enveloped in tree shade, and a serene pond, all watched over by a classical statue that could make Zeus envious. DeForest's philosophy treated gardens as canvases for both art and social communion, not just plant collections. His strategic placement of 4 grand palm trees, encircled by ancient tiles, injects the outdoor atrium with a sense of timelessness and cultural depth. His revolutionary vision earned Val Verde the status of a national treasure, recognized at multiple governmental levels. The estate's architectural and landscape wizardry has left an indelible mark on Santa Barbara. The collaborative genius of Goodhue and DeForest at Val Verde has propelled the widespread embrace of the Spanish colonial revival style throughout the region, especially in the reconstruction following the devastating 1925 earthquake. This architectural style, with its signature stucco walls, red-tiled roofs, and intricate detailing, is now synonymous with Santa Barbara's visual identity. But Val Verde extends its influence beyond mere aesthetics. It has been the epicenter of Santa Barbara's vibrant social scene, hosting an array of events that weave the community closer together. Despite facing its share of hurdles, from legal disputes to financial woes, there has been a steadfast commitment to preserving this iconic estate and its gardens for posterity, ensuring that Val Verde remains a beacon of cultural and architectural magnificence in Santa Barbara. And now we'd love to see you in the comments. Are you a native of the Santa Barbara area? And if so, which one of these mansions is your favorite? We thrive off of your thoughts, so please be sure to leave us some thoughts. With that said, thanks for joining us for another episode of Old Money Mansions, and cheers until next time.